Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Aligning to Truth. It's been a hot minute since I've been on here, and in this moment, I have been shown many things to talk about, which is awesome. And the first thing with this video that I want to chat about is forgiveness, and this was brought to my attention when I had a session with someone. And I remembered that not everyone knows what I've learned about forgiveness. And so I wanted to share this because when I learned this and understood this, it created a lot of shifts within me energetically and with my experience of, I just felt a lot lighter in my experience of life. And it's a really massive tool that I use all the time, and sometimes I use it a lot more and often daily, and sometimes I go with periods where I don't use it, but I'm also shown, like in dreams or in conversations or reflections, that what I need to do. And so I wanted to share my visuals or my perspective on forgiveness. It's pretty cool, really, when you think about this, and I've shared this in workshops before, how really I feel like we live in a world of webbing. We can't necessarily see it, but we're all connected. The energy that is running through us is running through everyone, and it's connected in different ways. And some webbing is thicker or finer, or there's more of it, depending on circumstances and etc. etc. And sometimes when we have an interaction with someone where it's like our energy comes in contact with the physical, it's like a residue that can happen. We can share energy via the torus, and or pick up other people's energies. Maybe sometimes when you go into the mall, you notice that after you come out of a place like that, that you feel really drained or tired, or maybe you're all of a sudden in a bad mood and you weren't. So once you start to understand how we are affected by the world around us, you can start to work with it so it works in your favor. And one of the things with forgiveness is that I feel like it retracts the webbing. It retracts something that links you to an event or an experience that hurts your heart or hurts another's heart. And I'm sure you've all experienced where you've been randomly just thinking about someone, and next minute they either ring you or text you, or maybe you see them and you're like, crazy, I was just thinking about you. And I feel like this is a really good representation of how we're so closely linked, and that thoughts really create the reality that we experience. So when we work with forgiveness, we have to work with it in a very specific way. And I feel like when most people talk about forgiveness, they talk about it from the place of, I'm going to forgive you. And it's the other person or the event or the experience or whatever it is. However, they forget the common denominator in all experiences is the self. So there would be no experience if you weren't involved in it. And so it's very important that you actually start with forgiveness here with yourself first before you move on to forgiving the other person. And it's so much more powerful and potent in this way. It's like you take charge, you take control, and you start bringing back the webbing, the threads that connect you to this. And in turn, because you're forgiving yourself, it also positively affects the other person. If I can think negatively about someone and it can affect them, if I can think of someone and they can message me, then we can think of someone and send them love, or we can forgive them. And they may not have any idea of this, but there will be something that shifts in them. And how powerful is that we can truly forgive ourselves, and in doing so, we change someone else's life. So I work with the prayer, the Hawaiian prayer, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce the actual proper name of it because I never pronounce it properly. But the words go, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I thank you, I love you. And it's that simple. And if you haven't heard of this before, I'll put a link in the bio of the story so that you can look into it a little bit more. There's books and a lot of information about it. It's also in Cornelius Christopher's book 1.0, and he speaks about the profound this experience of a man who helped heal like a whole mental institute just by using this prayer and something else. So I want to speak to how to use it. And I discovered this quite a long time ago, but I was never really taught, or I never really learned at the time, how to use it in a way that actually shifts energy and releases the incoherence or the wrong information that the body has stored because an event has happened. So your heart basically will know when it's cleared. You'll have this feeling that is different if you pay attention. But as a rule of thumb, I generally try and suggest to people that haven't worked with it before to sort of give you an idea of like it is something that you have to lean into and do for a while. So for saying this for 20 or 30 minutes, which sounds like a phenomenal amount of time, and you know it's not a short amount of time, but the results of it I feel are quite profound and life-changing. So why wouldn't you do that, especially if there's something that always comes up that triggers you, that causes anxiety, that stops you from living your life? It's a small amount of time. When I first started working with it, I went right back to when I was in the womb and newborn, and I forgave each year, and I worked with that. So I worked maybe like 2, 3, 4 days on just 1 year, and I would forgive myself and anything that happened to me. The other thing that I've done, if there's a particular person or event that's happened, I will forgive myself and that person. It's really important that you link you and the other person to the forgiveness. So I'm very specific with how I do this. I get into a place where I'm not going to be disturbed, and I close my eyes and I start breathing into the body so I can connect and feel into myself and come out of the mind. And I ask my heart to I ask my heart to activate to unconditional love for self and forgiveness for myself. And then I will say, like, let's say it's Bob that I have to forgive, and I will say and activate my heart to forgive Bob. And then I just start saying it over and over and over and over. And sometimes it happens very quickly where I will feel like a release in my body. It's almost like I become lighter. Sometimes my body will move. Sometimes I feel like my mind will distract me and I have to come back and keep saying it and saying it. And sometimes I feel like I need to come back another day or a couple of days later and repeat the process. So I know every one of us have someone or something to forgive, and it can be as small as how you spoke to yourself when you looked in the mirror in your mind that day, or how you beat yourself up for not working out, or for I don't know, the most silliest, ridiculous things. If we use the tool of forgiving ourselves, we are in line with love, and we are having compassion to ourselves, which is being kind to ourselves. So try this at home, and if you have any questions, please ask me in the box below. Much love, beautiful people. Bye. I would love you all to meet my baby. This is Mallow Snow. She looks like a snow leopard on her belly.